is going to make us into a hotbed for terrorism, is going to make us poorer, is going to make us second-class citizens. They will open a base in Katsina State and be digging our gold, and I cannot go there as a person from Katsina. We've seen that in Niger, we've seen that in Mali. This is what they have been doing. So fellow Nigerians, we should open our eyes. We in the north will vigorously resist any attempt by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's government to allow foreign military bases on our soil.
Ó dàbẹ̀ ni pé Ààrẹ Bọ́lá Ahmed Tinubu wọ́n ti díjú gbàdúrà fún wèrè. Wèrè ti pa ẹni tó ń wò láàrin Tinubu àtàwọn nọ́ọ̀tì báyìí. Ṣé mọ̀ pé wọ́n ní tó bá gbàdúrà fún wèrè kò gbọ́dọ̀ díjú. Bàbá Tinubu ti díjú gbàdúrà fún wèrè. Wọ̀tọ̀wọ̀tọ̀ yóò dáa. Lórí France tí Tinubu lọ, àwọn náà ti bínú tán wọ́n ti yarí. Wọ́n níbi tí bàbá Tinubu bá gbé àmọ̀làdé, wọ́n níbẹ̀ ni kó jó dé o. Wọ́n ní kó má jojú ẹlẹ́yà dé orí ilẹ̀ àwọn. Wọ́n láwọn àtàwọn emir àwọn stakeholders àwọn, even àwọn House of Assembly àwọn tí wọ́n gbé ẹni tí wọ́n ń sùn, wọ́n láwọn ti pè wọ́n pé kí wọ́n jí lójú oorun. Wípé orí ilẹ̀ àwọn kọ́ ni France máa wà. Wọ́n ní ogun àgbáyé ẹlẹ́kẹta o. Wọ́n ní ogun àgbáyé ni Tinubu fẹ́ fà lẹ́sẹ̀. Wọ́n láwọn ò ní kí Tinubu bá France ṣe kinní o. Wọ́n níbẹ̀ kí Tinubu rò dáadáa. Nígbà tí gbogbo Áfíríkà pátá as a whole, Cameroon, Chad, Niger, gbogbo wọn tí wọ́n lé France kúrò ní ìlú wọn. Tinubu wà lọ ń rò má sí ẹni yẹn. Ẹ jọ̀ọ́ lórí ọ̀rọ̀ yìí nǹkan tẹ́ bá rí sí ni ẹ bá mi sọ o. Ṣé mọ̀ wípé láyé Buhari náà àwọn France wá sí Lagos State lọ́dọ̀ Ambode. Tẹ́ bá rántí kí ni France fẹ́ gangan. Mo ṣàfọlọ́wọ́n ọba àbẹ̀yìn àti Elémèlú àbẹ́mẹ́lẹ́mẹ́lú àti bàbá Tinubu àti ẹ̀yin tó kù tẹ́jọ́ lọ sí France tó yẹ pé n tẹ́ lọ sign tí a mọ̀ nípẹ̀ mo fi gbogbo n tẹ́ bá believe mo fi gbẹ̀yìn ẹ má sign ẹni gbèsè on behalf of me and my family again. It should be enough. Ẹ jọ̀ọ́ èmi fọlọ́wọ́n ọba àbẹ̀yìn ni o, èmi ń bẹ̀yìn ni ẹ má sign ẹni gbèsè or wàhálà on my behalf. Now àwọn náà ti wá yarí nísìn. Wọ́n ní nǹkan mẹ́ta ní France máa ń tojú bọlé: ẹran núrù, olè, olójú kòkòrò, oníjìbìtì ọ̀fọ́n, alọ́kọ́lóhùn kígbe. Wọ́n ní nǹkan mẹ́ta ní France máa ń wá káàkiri. Ṣé mọ̀? Tẹ́ bá mọ̀ ẹ kọ sí comment section. Wọ́n ní ṣùgbọ́n lórí ilẹ̀ àwọn kọ́. Wọ́n láwọn ò ní fara mọ́. No foreigner must put their boot on our land. Wọ́n ní àkọ́kọ́ ní pé mọ̀ pé Russia, gbogbo àwọn African countries tó kù nísìn, Russia àti wọn lọ́jọ́ ń deal. Tẹ́ bá rántí wípé nígbà tí wọ́n fi Burkina Faso àbí Niger Republic tó jẹ́ coup d'état níbẹ̀ pa tó lé France, àwọn ECOWAS ti ní kí Tinubu kó kí lórúkọ ẹ lọ. Sójà Nàìjíríà ti wà ní Niger Republic ó bẹ́ẹ̀ la gbáriwo lọ́tún lọ́sì. Ní Russia náà ń dún kòkò, àwọn mí náà ń dún kòkò. Mo fọlọ́wọ́n ọba àbẹ̀yìn ẹ jẹ́ kí Yorùbá nation dúró. Èmi ò ní ẹ máa ń fa wàhálà gbogbo àgbákòtò bá fẹ́ fà fúnra yín ẹ fọ́ fúnra yín, jẹ́ káwọn ọmọ Yorùbá dá dúró ná. Now wọ́n ní àkọ́kọ́ ni pé France ò kí ń rí ìlú tó bá ní mineral resources. Bóyá gold ni, bóyá lithium ni, bóyá diamond ni, bóyá tin ni, bóyá anything tó bá ti jẹ́ mineral resources. Wọ́n ní France ò kí ń fi ojú rí ìlú tó bá wà. Wọ́n ní tí bàbá Tinubu bá gbé France wá sí Nàìjíríà, wọ́n ní lórí ilẹ̀ àwọn kọ́ o. Àwọn ò ní gold tí France máa wà. Àwọn ò ní lithium tí France ti máa kó. Tó bá mú Cameroon, Niger, Chad, Niger, gbogbo pátápátá bá fi lè lé France lórí ilẹ̀ wọn. Wọ́n ní orí ilẹ̀ tàwọn kọ́ ní France máa wá mineral resources o. wọ́n láwọn ò fara mọ́. Number 1 wọ́n sọ pé France máa ń ranjú káàkiri nìyẹn. Wọ́n ní number 2 òun ni oil and gas. Ṣé wọ́n ti rí oil nílùú wọn ni? Mi ò mọ̀. Wọ́n ní oil and gas tó wà nílùú àwọn. Wọ́n ní France ò lè tọwọ́ sí. Wọ́n láwọn ẹ̀mí àwọn ti sọ̀rọ̀. Wọ́n náà ti fi kò mú òkun ọ̀rọ̀. Wọ́n ti fi lélẹ̀ pé no ni oil and gas ti wọ́n láwọn ò gbà. Wọ́n wá ní ẹlẹ́ẹ̀kẹta ó ní military base. Wípé àwọn ò ní tolerate ẹ̀. Wípé àwọn mọ̀ pé military base France tó fẹ́ gbé wá wọ́n láwọn mọ̀ pé north náà máa gbé wá wọ́n láwọn ò ní gbà. Ayé àdìwèrè ni. Má jẹ́ kó gun àgbáyé ẹlẹ́ẹ̀kẹta bẹ̀rẹ̀ láti Nàìjíríà. Jẹ́ adádúró. Màá play video yẹn fún yín o, fúlì ni o. Ó sọ̀rọ̀ ó pọ̀, ó sọ̀rọ̀ báyìí. Ẹnu ẹ̀ ó gùn tó apá. Ṣẹ̀dẹ̀ pé àwọn máa jọ ń sọ̀rọ̀ pọ̀ ní tí kan náà bá ti bọ́ta báyìí. Wọ́n jọ máa sọ ni. Táwọn emir tí wọ́n bá wá yarí wípé mineral resources tó wà nílé àwọn bíi gold, diamond nǹkan èmi ò tẹ̀ mọ̀ kó tiẹ̀ wà nílùú wọn tó bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn. Mo kàn mọ̀ pé ní south west nílẹ̀ Yorùbá oríṣiríṣi la ní tọ́lọ́run fi jíǹkí wá. Táwọn emir tí wọ́n bá wá yarí àwọn ọba tí wá ń kọ́ ẹni pé àwọn ọba tí wá ṣé wọ́n lè yarí? Gbèsè dé o, another gbèsè, another poverty. Bí Professor Yusuf Usman ṣe ń sọ̀rọ̀ yìí ṣé àwọn tí wá lè bọ́ta boldly kí wọ́n sọ̀rọ̀ báyìí wípé àwọn reject France lórí ilẹ̀ àwọn. Now wọ́n náà ti lọ, bàbá Tinubu ti lọ sign deal pẹ̀lú France. Tó bá wá dé tí náà ti reject wọn pé ìwọ̀nba gold nǹkan tó lórí ilẹ̀ àwọn ò ní gbà kí France kó. Tó dẹ̀ yẹ pé nílẹ̀ ti wà ní south west àwọn China ń yọ̀tọ̀ mi. Wọ́n ń gbádùn, wọ́n ń ṣoríṣiríṣi lórí ilẹ̀ wa. France náà tún wá kú wọn. Ó ti ẹ̀dá. Wọ́n bá sọlẹ̀ di kòròfo. Àbí China kú ti ń ṣe gàrí fún wa. Wọ́n gbin iṣu nílẹ̀ wa, wọ́n ń ṣú ẹ̀ fún wa. Iṣu tí wọ́n gbìn tí wọ́n export lọ sí ìlú wọn. Wọ́n ṣe cassava nílùú wa, wọ́n export ẹ̀ lọ sí China. Wọ́n wá lọ ń ṣe gàrí. Wọ́n wá rí brand ẹ̀ wá fún wa. Wọ́n láwọn ò ní faramu. Oil and gas ti wá ń kọ́. Níbo nílẹ̀ Yorùbá ni ò ti sí oil pẹ̀lú gas. Torí ẹni Dangote ṣe fìdí kalẹ̀ sí Lagos State. Ṣé ẹni tó pa ní omi ibi tó mi bá dẹ̀ pọ̀ sí kò sí nǹkan ọrọ̀ ajé tí ò ní sí bẹ̀, especially oil àti gas. Bàtà máa fún Dangote ńlẹ̀. Ṣé mi àti yín mọ̀ sí Fẹ́mi Fálànà bọ́ta wọ́n lọ́fẹ̀ẹ́ náà fún wọn lẹ̀. Dangote bọ́ta how many million of dollars ló ní wọ́n gbà lọ́wọ́ nǹkan tó fún òun lẹ̀ yẹn. Ṣé mi àti yín rí gbà ń bẹ̀? Tàdé mọ̀ wípé Saudi tó bá ta epo lásán àwọn ọmọ wọn citizen wọ́n á fowó sórí ẹ̀ ni. Ayé kòró kaná fún lówó ńlẹ̀ Yorùbá. Now military base yẹn tó bá wá gbé wá sí south west according to Professor Usman Yusuf ó ní kán lọ wo ìlú tí àwọn France máa play video yẹn fún yín táwọn France wà. Ẹ wá náà fẹ́ bá yín kọ́pù insecurity. Ó ní kí ló dé tí wọ́n kọ́pù ẹ̀ ní Mali. Burkina Faso ń kọ́. Ó tó pa àwọn bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní lé wọn nísìn tó ń ṣe sàndóró fún wọn. Ìtò lè sádànù tí wọ́n ń sádànù tó bá yè báyìí ní orí yóò di lé ni tó wọ́n fi Nàìjíríà ṣe lé. Èmi kọ́ ni mo sọ o, Malam Yusuf ló sọ o. Wọ́n ní France mọ̀ nípa Lukarawa. Wọ́n láwọn agbésùnmọ̀mí Lukarawa tá à ń pariwo yẹn wọ́n ní ṣọwọ́ àwọn France ni. Wọ́n ní wọ́n ti wà ní Nàìjíríà for the past 7 years. Wọ́n tẹ́ bá pé Tinubu wá ń pariwo ní sàwọn èèyàn ń pariwo Lukarawa sí o. Wọ́n ní àti wọ́n náà kẹ́lẹ̀ bá láti sọ pé àwọn fẹ́ pé France wọlé ni. Pé France fẹ́ bá wọn fight insurgency. so àwọn military Nàìjíríà ti ya ọ̀lẹ tí wọn ò lè kọjú àwọn boko tí wọn ò lè kọjú àwọn agbésùmọ̀mí so France ló máa wá gbà wá. Adisa ọmọ Aládìkún ẹ̀ka kọ́kọ́ gbọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu olóyè Sunday Adéyẹmọ Ìgbòho Òòṣà. That is the man who saw tomorrow. I believe Adisa saw today ní àná àtàná ló mú Adéyẹmọ ti rí èní ẹ̀gbọ́n tó lóyè Sunday Ìgbòho sọ̀rọ̀ Adisa.
ẹni pé kò ní kú lọ́la Buhari yẹn dà lẹ́nu ó ti dà mọ̀lú nínú bàbá rẹ̀ dà ó ti padà tó kọ mọ̀lú bàbá rẹ̀. Buhari ti fi Nàìjíríà ya owó àwádẹ́ rí wọ́n ní ẹjẹ́ kò lóko ẹrú Fúlàní ẹjẹ́ dádúró àwọn la ní epo láti gbogbo nǹkan lọ́dọ̀ àti gẹ́gẹ́ láwọn Fúlàní wọ́n Nàìjíríà ò lè wọ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ ni wọ́n dá mi lóhùn lónìí kọ́ Buhari wá gbé ìfúfọ́ọ̀gù ìjọba tó ti parí èdè wọ́n wá gbé fún bàbá Tinubu lóṣù mẹ́fà méje kí ló ṣe ohun tó wá dùn bí fún àwọn Yorùbá ni pé àwọn àgbààgbà Yorùbá ni wọ́n ní ìjà sí protest ebi ń bàbá ìjà ń jẹ wá ṣe ẹ̀rọ ọmọ Ìgbò kẹ̀kẹ́ kọ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ tàbí nípa wọn ti lé gbogbo Fúlàní kúrò lórí ilẹ̀ wọn wọ́n ń dàkọ wọ́n ti ṣe gbogbo nǹkan tó wù wọ́n Ìgbò ti lé gbogbo ọkọ̀ lórí ilẹ̀ wọn wọ́n ń dàkọ ń bẹ̀rẹ̀ pẹ́tẹ́ ní wọn ò lè ké ìfún òní sọ pé nípa wọn kí ló dé táwọn ò lè fọ́ sọ ọ̀pọ̀ kálé wọn kó lórí ilẹ̀ bàbá wọn káwọn bàbá wọn ráyè dáko káwọn wọn ráyè lọ bí
tí bá ti ń sọ wípé Àdìsá tí bá ti sọ pé Ìgbòho ẹ máa sọ pé òòṣà òòṣà Ọlọ́run bá ti gbèjà ẹ̀dá kí lolúwa rẹ̀ tún ń bínú sí tọ́lọ́run bá ti gbèjà ẹ̀dá ọmọ Aládìkún kí lolúwa rẹ̀ tún ń sáré ká fún k'Ẹlẹ́dùmarè fi ẹ́ lọ́kàn balẹ̀ o ó bá dì nígbẹ̀yìn Yorùbá nation káàárọ̀ pẹ́ dá Ọlọ́run máa gbèjà wa délẹ̀ ó wí fún wa tó ní Nàìjíríà ó ní náà láì ṣùgbọ́n àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá ni wọ́n dúró lẹ́yìn ẹ̀ tọ́jú ìyá àgbákò ṣó ti ń kílẹ̀ lójú anybody lójú everybody máa bó ẹ wá gbọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu Professor Usman Yusuf kó ṣàlàyé fún yín ohun tó ń bọ̀ àṣà Kóyèkí alẹ́ tí mọ ohun tó ń bọ̀ Kóyèkí ní ẹ̀ tí mọ ohun tó ń bọ̀ eléyìí tí kò lọ́wọ́ Nàìjíríà sí Nàìjíríà ó ti fẹ́ di ogun àgbáyé báyìí France tọ́ba ṣé tí mo ṣe wá débẹ̀ question kan ṣé tí France bá fìdí sọlẹ̀ sí Nàìjíríà ṣé wọ́n ní sọ pé àwọn fẹ́ gbẹ̀san lára àwọn Africa countries tó kù tí wọ́n lé wọn dó Buhari ayé Buhari náà wọ́n wá bẹ̀ẹ̀ ṣé wọn ò ní wà Nàìjíríà kọ́ máa sọ òkò sí other African country ẹ̀rọ ti pé France yìí ló da ECOWAS o wọn ò fẹ́ kẹ́nu wá kò tó bá wá sọ òkò sí other countries other African countries tí Russia dẹ̀ dúró lẹ́yìn tí wọ́n bí ike ẹ dákun kílẹ̀ òkú máa ṣẹlẹ̀ Yorùbáwùyí lórúkọ mi ẹ̀yin tẹ́ bá ti bá mi download tap send ẹ lọ bá mi download tap send ẹ jọ torí Ọlọ́run ẹ lo promo code mi Abiola TTS àbí kẹ́ lo Abiola 223 each of the way ni ẹ lo Abiola 223 ẹ lo Abiola TTS ní first àkọ́kọ́ tó bá kọ́kọ́ fẹ́ dúró kẹ́ lọ wo iye tí dọ́là jẹ́ lẹ́nu kẹ́ lọ wo iye tí dọ́là jẹ́
and looking for newer relationships. However, Nigeria is using this as an opportunity to deepen our ties with France. What positives do you see from this relationship, particularly when it comes to security and our economy? And also, you know, it was said yesterday that Nigeria signed an MOU with France in the mining space. Do you believe that this is going to have positive outcomes for the country?
No. To be honest, I'm terribly nervous. And every Nigerian should be. Okay, let's look at our relationship with France, past, present, and the future. So when everybody, France has been in all these Francophone African countries, West Africa, for 66 years, and they've been kicked out. They've been kicked out of recently Chad, Senegal, Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso, five of your neighbors kicked a colonial master, and all of a sudden you are hugging that person. There is something you guys know that we don't know. But let's look at the history of France in Africa or anywhere else in the world. It's not been good. Look at all these countries. You need to ask yourself, why was France kicked out of those places?
Why?
They were literally sucking their resources. And there is no development in any of these countries. Any. You go to Chad, you go to Mali, you go to Burkina Faso, you go to Niger. There is nothing to see, but they've been sucking their uranium and gold. All of a sudden, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is in this love fest with Macron and and France. We're asking ourselves why. What do we have in common with France? Literally nothing. You look at our history with France. France has been one of the major countries that was supposed to be a united Nigeria. France opposed the creation of ECOWAS. France opposed the creation and sabotaged the creation of a single ECOWAS currency, the ECO. And France literally sabotaged ECOWAS by this young military hunters leaving ECOWAS. Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso. ECOWAS is now just a shell. Wherever France is, it's not good. Mr. President, you are not talking to Nigerians. You remember after the coup in Niger? Nigeria, the president had just started. He had not even assembled his team. Or he said, we're going to attack France. We're going to attack Niger. And I'm sure prodded by France. We in the North resisted vehemently. We are not going to allow Nigeria to invade Niger because the fight was going to be a proxy war. America, the United States of America, had one of the biggest drone bases in Agadas in Niger. Yeah, this thing was, they're going to fight Islamists and all that. No. Insecurity has been much worse where you have foreign bases by this foreign countries. The reason France is cozying to Nigeria and President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is allowing them to, and we will resist, is because they are looking for a place to situate their military base after being kicked out. We in the North, which is a place they are looking to locate these bases, we in the North will vigorously resist any foreign military boot on our soil. So, Mr. President, you need to know, we do not have any historical ties, defense or economic or linguistic with France. And all this causing the French are doing, the reception they gave Mr. President was fit for a king. He will not get that if he goes to England or the United States or anywhere in the world. What is France getting for that? France wants three things. One, it wants right to concessions to exploit our minerals, which are predominantly in the North, which is what they've been doing in Niger, Mali, and Burkina Faso. Number two, they want concessions in oil and gas. That's why they said, I heard the spokesman of the president saying, Total is going to invest 750 million in gas. And I ask myself, is this true or is this fiction? Because the same Total, 16 months ago in July, exited Nigeria and sold all its stake at 860 million to a Mauritius-based company and left. Their reasons were sabotage, theft, oil spillage, and high cost of lawsuits. So what has changed in 16 months that they're coming back again? After selling 860 million and left town, they're coming to invest 750 million. We were told. It's not going to happen. So they're looking for three things. They are looking to come and exploit our mineral resources predominantly in the North. They are looking to explore oil and gas, which they ran away from, and they are coming. And number three, most importantly, most worrying, and everybody in Nigeria, I beg you to lend me your ears. We will resist vehemently. any attempt by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's government to allow any foreign military base on our soil, particularly in the north, because it's going to be a harbinger of trouble. All these lacura things you're hearing, it is the French that started all of this.
Shut up!
They started all of this too. Whenever France was in West Africa, there's no peace. Why would President Bola Ahmed Tinubu bring them back without consulting anybody?
Hey.
So, military base, France or America or any country will be resisted vigorously by all of us, because this is a country we love, and we're not going to allow recolonization of this Nigeria like they've done in the other countries. In Hausa, there is a saying, Inkaga gemu dan wanka ya kama wuta ka sa manaka ruwa. If you see the beard of your neighbor catches fire, put water, dampen water on yours. Well, France has put fire all over the Sahel. And we are inviting them into our household. No, we are not going to do that. Business, do that. And it has to go through due process. And I'm calling on our sleepy, do-nothing 10th Assembly to wake up to its responsibility. They are the ones we elected. They are the ones who should checkmate President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in all the opaque things he's been doing. He disappears into France for working holiday, and nobody knows what he's going to do there. Like he's being called for consultation. This is a democracy, not a military rule. And we need to know what our government and our president is taking us into. But for a military base, it's a no-no. And exploiting our mineral resources behind our back is not going to happen. It's going to be transparent. There's going to be open bid, and all of us stakeholders must be involved in this. Thank you very much.
Okay, so Professor Usman, thank you so much for your submissions this morning. But let's even lean further into the geopolitical implications of this relationship, considering the current rivalry between Western powers and China for influence in the global south. How does Nigeria's embrace of France fit into this dynamic? Could this partnership position Nigeria as a critical player in balancing global power, or is there a risk in alienating other potential allies such as China or Russia?
That is what Nigeria is just going to be used as a pawn. And it's essentially sticking out our neck and giving it to them. And the fight is not between the West and China. No, the fight is between the West and Russia. Look at what just happened in Syria. Look at just what happens in Syria. The rebels took over Aleppo. Look at what's happening in Ukraine. Look at what's happening in Israel. It's going to be a proxy war between between NATO and Russia.
The West and Russia.
Because all these French West African countries, they are inviting Russia. Yes. After kicking America, after kicking China. So it's going to be a proxy war, and we are not going to be part of it.
We are not going to be part of it either.
Especially all of us in the north, that are going to be on the full brunt of any recklessness of bringing any foreign food on our soil. We're not going to accept it. So China is not, it's not about China. It's about United States, NATO, and Russia. So, Mr. President, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, you are elected by us. You must speak to us. You are not going to commit us to any foreign military presence in the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And whatever investments you do must be vetted by our sleepy 10th Assembly. They must wake up. But I call on all Nigerians, particularly our elders, our governors, our National Assembly, our traditional rulers and clerics, to look, danger is coming. Our Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's romance with France is no good news for Nigeria. Thank you.
All right, Prof. Thanks for your submissions so far. Some people might see it as a bit alarming. Others might think that it is largely speculative. But then I'd like to remind you of what Adesua started with, the relationship that Nigeria had with France, particularly after the Civil War, given the fact that, you know, it was the side of Biafra that France was. But of course, the relationship developed in a way, you know, in a positive way after that. So my question to you is that how will you want President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to embrace France, which, as you were reminded earlier, is our biggest trade partner in the EU, as we are their biggest trade partner, in Africa. Don't forget, sir, that Emmanuel Macron was in Nigeria in 2018, received by former President Buhari in Abuja and received by former Governor Akinwumi Ambode in Lagos. Beautiful relationship on display. Before then, Olusegun Obasanjo, General, was the president when democracy returned at that time, had Jacques Chirac in Abuja. He went to France too, the same way that Bola Tinubu has gone to France, was also very warmly received, and business relationship developed. Why do you think that it will be a different case with Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu as the president, given the fact that not just trade, but core component of the relationship that is being built is the security angle? You made reference to Lacra and the dangers that they portend. If there will be ways in which we can work with France to stem that tide, wouldn't you encourage it?
Right, and that's the scary part, Steve. If France could help any country with security, why didn't he help Mali? Why didn't he help Niger? Why didn't he help Burkina Faso? Why didn't he help Chad? It's been there forever. Their troops have been there forever. You think it didn't help them with all their bases? It's going to help you? Steve, let's wake up. Only Nigeria can help itself by liberating itself from these colonial forces that are doing nothing but stirring trouble in the Sahel. Doing nothing but stirring trouble in the Sahel. So for anybody to think France is coming to help us with security is deluding himself. The biggest problem we will have is this. And this is what President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, his misfiring of how to handle the situation after the coup in Niger is the one increasing more insecurity coming to Nigeria. Because Niger and Chad and Cameroon, they've been doing a lot of heavy lifting on our behalf, fighting Boko Haram and bandits and ISWAP. Now, you're not going to talk to them, you're fighting them, they lift their feet off the brakes, and these guys roll in. France is not going to help you with that. The only thing that will help you with this Lacra nonsense, this uptick we are seeing in Lacra is suspect. I'll tell you. I had the other day, the spokesperson of the defense headquarters in Nigeria saying, in his press briefing, say Lacrawas, they are new, they are related to the coup in Niger. Hello, Mr. Spokesperson, you should know better. These Lacrawas, as we know today, have been around in this country, a sovereign Nigeria, non-state actors from Mali or from wherever came to Nigeria. They've been here for 7 years.
7 years.
7 years, since 2017, at the invitation of local communities to help them fight bandits, to help them do the job that security services could not do. They came under the nose of the federal government, under the nose of the state government, under the nose of all security services, under the nose of all our intelligence services. And now all of a sudden we are doing this. The question to ask Nigerians should be asking is, why did we allow a non-state actor to come into Nigeria, settle, and continue its activities for the past 7 years? And why all of a sudden are we saying, oh, Lacra, just to give a reason for France to come in? That is the only reason. Fellow Nigerians, you can never stop this Lacra, Boko Haram, and all these bandits, all these terrorists, if you don't have good relationship with your neighbors. Not France. Bringing France in is going to make us into a hotbed for terrorism, is going to make us poorer, is going to make us second-class citizens. They will open a base in Katsina State and be digging our gold, and I cannot go there as a person from Katsina. We've seen that in Niger, we've seen that in Mali. This is what they have been doing. So fellow Nigerians, we should open our eyes. We in the north, will vigorously resist any attempt by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's government to allow foreign military bases on our soil. End of story. I don't know how else to say it.
Okay, Professor Usman. Now, Professor Usman, you did say that if we allow France in, that Nigeria can become a hotbed for terrorism. But some people would argue that it already is, that, that the northern governors, for example, have not focused on human capital development, that we have extremism in different parts of the country, that the economic situations right now is what makes Nigeria a hotbed for terrorism and not a possible growing trade relation with France, but also focusing on the geopolitical implications that Shaitan brought into the conversation earlier. We did speak about Russia, and we also have to speak about the Wagner Group, because you spoke about the proxy war going on in Ukraine between Russia and the West. However, some people argue that there is a proxy war going on in Africa between Russia and the West. We have the Wagner Group in Mali, in Niger, in Burkina Faso. They have, of course, rebranded from the Wagner Group, but they are under the Russian military corps. And you also had France in those countries. As of February of this year, we also had Russia being in control of Mali's Intaka gold mine. So we do have Russian interests in Western Africa in our minds. And so is it not already a situation that our neighbors are dealing with their own proxy wars and extraction of their resources by either Russia or the West? And rather than be in that type of situation, our president is trying to position us as a trade partner and not a partner to be extracted from.
Trade partner. How much is he getting from France? 750 million, they say, investment by Total. For goodness sake, that's poetry sum for a country like Nigeria. The other day they went to Qatar. How much did they say they got? 600 million, and Qatar denied that. The other day, Saudi Arabia, they said 800 million. All of these investments, less than $1 billion for a country like Nigeria. This is paltry. Why is Nigeria not attracting the big investment that it is worthy of?
Professor Yusuf,
a Nigeria that has a very large population, a Nigeria that is very rich, a Nigeria that has a very educated population. Why are we not attracting big investment? So to tell me you went to France and got 750 million, that's an insult. Or Saudi Arabia 800 million, or Qatar 600 million. The president himself, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, demarketed Nigeria twice in Doha. Remember when they went, he said there is corruption. And he warned the Qatari delegates, if anybody asks you for a bribe, come and tell me. Hello, Mr. President. Thank you for demarketing your country. G20, you heard what you're saying. There is insecurity, there is hunger, there is this, there is this. You are the chief marketing officer of your country, and you are demarketing the country. I will tell you, real countries that want to invest, they invest in DR Congo and all troubled spots. They factor in all this crisis, and they even get insurance for all of this to come into place and please the country and leave. So, real investment, we want to see real investment that translate into bettering the lives of our people. We haven't seen that so far. All the loans they've been getting, the World Bank loans, the Chinese loan, where are we seeing that? It's not impacted on the people. It's not helped the Naira. It's not brought inflation down. But they're getting loans all over the place. Just a few days ago, they got a loan of 2.2 billion. They got approval from the House, from the Senate, from the National Assembly. It took only 48 hours for the do-nothing National Assembly to give him approval, go and get loans. For what? For what? He is proposing a bill of 47.9 billion. And the collection agencies that make money, they say they have collected 51 trillion so far. So far. So why are you getting all this money? To do what? He gets all these loans, and the National Assembly does not ask him what are these loans for, and we do not see the benefit. So we must question. especially in a situation where we're worried there's a state capture by the president and his business associates that we do not. You see them signing MOUs in France. On whose behalf?
On whose
behalf?
On my behalf.
Definitely not on my behalf, not on my grandmother's behalf. They are not in government. Nobody knows about these guys. You see them signing on behalf of Nigeria. State capture. You have your business associates running this country. Nobody can tell me how much FIRS has collected, or how much customs, or how much this, or how much this. Nobody knows what comes in, what goes out. And the reason is because our National Assembly is complicit, is there in bed with this bad governance. This cannot continue. We must all wake up. Investment from France is not going to solve our problem. Get investment wherever you're going to get investment. But we're very nervous with this love fest between our president and France and his prime minister. It's a harbinger of bad things to come because of France's history around us. And we cannot trust France or any country without security. Doing that will be foolhardy. And you said, yes, there is insecurity in the north. It's going to get much worse with France around. They want to go and fight, let them go and do their own fighting. We will solve our problems here.
Professor Yusufa, let me...
Thank you.
Thank you very much for that. Let me just...
Professor Yusufu sọ yìí. Kí lẹ̀yin rí sí? Ṣé kí France máa bọ̀ Nàìjíríà? Tí France bá wá sí Nigeria, according to what this man said, tí wọ́n bá fẹ́ bára wọn jà, tí àwọn West, àwọn àjọ àgbáyé bá fẹ́ bára wọn fa wàhálà, tí àwọn funfun bá fẹ́ ṣe àgbákò fúnra wọn, ó ní kí wọ́n lọ jà níwájú, káwa solve problem tiwa fúnra wa. Kí ló lè solve Nigeria problem? Tayo distinction kó ní kálukú dúró láyé ẹ̀. Kó ní kálukú lọ ń lo ẹ̀. Ó lè mí bìlì pé ó lè solve problem Nigeria níbi tó dé yìí, ó ti kọjá rẹ́dẹ̀rẹ́dẹ́. Now France fẹ́ wá. Tí Professor Yusuf bá lè bọ́ ta Usman tó bá ń sọ̀rọ̀ báyìí fún àwọn tiẹ̀. Tẹ́mi dẹ̀ mọ̀ pé ohun kan la gbé, wọ́n máa ń ké ohun kan la lùkọ́, wọ́n máa ń fọ ohun. Ọmọ Yorùbá kí lẹ̀ rí sí tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ yìí? Bàbá Tinubu lọ sáìnì kíní 750 million. Táwọn olówó èló ní Dangote fi kọ́ refinery ní Lagos State. Táwọn olówó kẹ̀kẹ̀kẹ̀kẹ̀kẹ̀kẹ̀ wọ́n wá ní France máa sọ́fù insurgency. Báwo ló ṣe fẹ́ help wa? Táwọn olè bá wá takú, tán dúró gbọ́n, tán ní tọ́lọ́mọ kan ló ṣòro kóńkó làwọn ṣojú. Tí wọ́n dúró tán, ta ló máa forí ko? Sí kì í ṣàwà báyìí. Ta ló lè sọ̀rọ̀ fáwa? Àwọn àgbààgbà wo ni wọ́n lè bọ́ta sọ̀rọ̀ fún àwa ní South West? Àgbààgbà wo ló bold láti sọ̀rọ̀ fún àwa nílẹ̀ Yorùbá báyìí? Àwọn ẹ̀mí àwọn sọ̀rọ̀ fún wọn wípé àwọn ò ní gbà kí France wá kó nǹkan rajé tí wọn. Ṣáwa ní àwọn tó máa bọ́ta sọ̀rọ̀, tó máa bòdì báyìí sọ̀rọ̀. Sunday Igboho tó bòdì bó lẹ́lẹ́ sí, ẹ ti lè sẹ́yìn òdì. Ojú everybody máa bó o. Ògún gbọ́ níbi tọ́rọ̀ yìí lọ, ó máa clear lójú everybody. Ó máa ṣe kí ni? Ó máa clear. Kí wọ́n lọ sign MU àbí kí wọ́n lọ sign on behalf of tani? Ẹ má gba èpè o. Kí ni mo sọ fún yín? Ẹ má gba èpè. Ẹ má ká fún yín ní èpè. France tí ó lè help ààrẹ ló máa help àwa. So táwọn kí lórúkọ ẹ̀, àwọn West bá wá fẹ́ jà kí wọ́n fi Nàìjíríà ṣe battlefield. Abájọ táwọn Biafra ṣe declare nation wọn. So wọ́n ti mọ̀ pé another country làwọn Biafra. Ọmọ Yorùbá kí là ń ṣe? A ṣì wá ń di ọ̀tẹ̀, a ṣì wá ń di rìkíṣí, a ṣì wá ní ìdìtẹ̀mbẹ̀lẹ̀kún. Sunday Igboho illiterate kò lè gbé wa délẹ̀ Yorùbá, kò lè bá gbé wa dé, kò lè lead wa. Ṣé bẹ́ẹ̀ la ṣì wà? Ṣé pé Sunday Igboho ò lè lead wa la ṣì wà? Professor Banji Akintoye ó ti ṣe politics rí kò lè lead wa ṣé bẹ́ẹ̀ lẹ ṣì wà gbogbo ẹnikẹ́ni tó bá lójú kòkòrò tó bá ní mọ́tò tó fi máa fi ẹpọn ẹ̀ tó máa fi ṣe collateral nílé onísúyà Ọlọ́run kò ní mọ̀ tẹ́ máa fi ẹpọn yín ẹ̀yẹ gbàgbálẹ̀ Yorùbá tẹ́ máa fi ẹpọn yín ṣe collateral nílé onísúyà ẹ̀ ní mọ̀ ṣé bá ṣe máa bá lọ lélẹ̀ bá ṣe máa ránjú kalẹ̀ ni second recolonization lélẹ̀ àwọn tó láwọn colonize wa tí wọ́n fún wa ní independent wọ́n sì yan wá bí gúgúgú wọn tí rí wa yan tán ẹ tún ní kí France náà máa bọ̀ kó wá yan wá ọlọ́mọdé àpàdà di bábíkìú tó jóná sínú oven o. How long do we continue like this? Ghana stand alone. Àwọn èèyàn wọ́n lọ ń gba kí lórúkọ ẹ̀ citizenship Ghana. Burkina Faso, Ibrahim Traoré, God bless him, stood up for his people and still standing pé wọn ò bí yín kú ẹ máa kúrò nílùú wa ní. West àti Russia dẹ̀kẹ̀rẹ̀ wọ́n ń fa mọ̀gánà lọ́wọ́. Kò sọ́mọ so kò sí èèyàn kankan tó ní ọpọlọ nílẹ̀ Yorùbá tó lè invest tàbí tó lè gbé owó kalẹ̀ fi invest ní ilẹ̀ Yorùbá tàbí ká tó lọ gbé France wá káwọn France náà tún máa wá bọ̀ ogun lukarawasi Boko Haram kíníkan Haram tó wà ní Áfíríkà poverty tó ní Áfíríkà lára Áfíríkà ò rójútu ara ẹ̀ ta ló ń fà á kí ló dé tí wọn ò fẹ́ kí Áfíríkà tí wọn ò fẹ́ kóhùn wá ṣọ̀kan many countries nísìnyí láwọn funfun yẹn ẹ máa visa free ní ẹ máa wọ Áfíríkà àjìnà síra wa Nàìjíríà lọ sí Ghana àìṣe máa gbàdúrà fún visa Ghana lọ sí Sierra Leone àìṣe máa wá visa a lè wọlé jáde gẹ́gẹ́ bí ọmọ ìyá àwọn tó kù wá ń dìde pàtàkì tó kù ń dìde báyìí nísìnyí pé tọ̀ ó yẹ fi wálẹ̀ ẹ jẹ́ ká dáyé wa ṣe ná ìgbà yẹn Nàìjíríà wa lọ ra ẹni ẹmọ ẹni tó máa ń tẹ́ ní yídì Nàìjíríà ṣe wá lọ ra tiẹ̀ wọ́n wá tẹ́lẹ̀ wọ́n wá fi ẹ̀gbẹ́ lélẹ̀ wọ́n fẹ́ mú oorun kọ́ máa wá han oorun hàn ṣọ́ọ̀lẹ́ ló ń ṣe yín Nàìjíríà ni abẹ́ ẹ ló lè ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ẹ wó ṣó yìí mo fẹ́ béèrè lọ́wọ́ yín kí lẹ rí sọ̀rọ̀ tí Professor Yusuf Usman sọ yìí does that mean wípé because wọn ò láìkì Tinubu ni wọn ò ṣe gba gbogbo tó ń sọ lẹ́nu ẹ̀ tàbí self defence láti defend ilẹ̀ tiwọn wọn bá díẹ̀ tó kù kẹ́nìbọ̀dì má wàá kó ṣe rántí pé wọ́n ní gbogbo gold tó máa rí ní Zamfara àwọn Zamfara ni wọ́n ní the gold in Zamfara belong to the Zamfarans but the oil in Niger Delta and everywhere in Nigeria belongs to the Nigerians. He say we are one. Wọ́n láwọn wọn jiyàn pé kí Tinubu má gbé France wá sí Nigeria wọ́n ní kì í ṣe lórí ilẹ̀ àwọn. One Nigeria are we really one? Yorùbáwùyí lórúkọ tèmi mo retí ní comment section tẹ́ bá rí sí Yorùbáwùyí lèmi ń jẹ́. If you are seeing this page for the first time, I am the one and only Akalolo of Yoruba land. Adáwọn ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ọmọjọmọlọ yòlóyè tí ò pé méjì abẹ ní ọmọ òṣè pààrọ̀ tó máa pààrọ̀ tiwa adéwájú federal government tó máa sáyìn ní adéwájú Elédùmarè which means pé a kú bí 99 times a kú. See you on my next show. I love you. Ó dàbọ̀ ṣe ti ṣe thumb up lórí show yìí abẹ́nu mi lẹ̀ ń wò kí lẹ̀yin rí sí. And if you want more from me, you can easily subscribe to my YouTube channel. Tẹ notification yín sí all. A máa ń sọ fún yín thumb up tẹ́ máa bá wa tẹ̀ lórí show tẹ́ máa bá wa share. Kò ti pé ẹ̀sùn extra owó àbí ẹ̀sùn extra data. Káwọn èèyàn kàn fi rí ni. comment yín the more you comment èèyàn kan lè comment 1 million times lórí show ẹ̀yọ̀ kan the more tẹ́ bá comment the more tí fídíò ẹ̀ máa rìn ni ẹ̀ tún lè comment bó nǹkan lè fi ń ṣàwọn bá dẹ̀ pé Tinubu ní bàbá yín sìn ẹ̀ àbí kí ní bàbá yín ni kí n pé Tinubu ní bàbá wa kí n sá lọ ni ṣé wọ́n bá mi tẹ tọ́ǹpọ̀ bàbá tí ẹ̀ bá tẹ tọ́ǹpọ̀ lórí show yìí tẹ́ ẹ̀ ṣe ẹ̀ next show báyìí máa pé Tinubu ní bàbá yín bàbá gbogbo wa má dẹ̀ sá lọ ẹ ti mọ̀ pé mi ò lè jà wọ́n ló gun ń bọ̀ danger is looming danger mama jà rogun danger gbogbo military coup kó tó di military coup káwọn náà tẹ̀ ti dá dúró náà máa ṣàánú wa nílẹ̀ Yorùbá káwọn náà tẹ̀ ti dá dúró ká ti wà láyé wa kẹ́kẹ́ kó ṣì síwájú kẹ́kẹ́ kó ṣì yín lọ ká ti wà láyé wa ká ti dá dúró kẹ́ tó gbé military coup lórí ibú yín dé kílẹ̀ Yorùbá ti dá dúró kó ní kálukú sí lọ́nlù ẹ̀ ọ̀fọ́n ti tọ̀ sí gbẹ̀gìrì ní Madam Yusuf tó sọ pé wọ́n fi iye kan lọ Nàìjíríà mọ̀ pọ́jà ti tán ṣọ́ọ̀bù ní Madam Yusuf ọjà ti tán ṣọ́ọ̀bù you cannot expect iye tí wọ́n san fún ọlọ́mọge tọ́mú ẹ̀ sì dúró wọ́n san ìyẹn fún èyí tí ọmọ ẹ̀ ti ṣe pẹlẹbẹ ọjà ti tán ṣọ́ọ̀bù Nàìjíríà Nàìjíríà ò ní nǹkan kan mọ́ kò sọ́jà ṣọ́ọ̀bù ẹ̀ mọ́ Nàìjíríà dàbí ìyá 80 years tó ń ṣaṣẹ́wó ni gbogbo ẹ̀ ti di palaha ọjà ti tán ẹgbẹ́ bí wọ́n ti di ránlánlá pàǹpàǹpàǹpà see you on my next show.